In the gate. And they're off. In Your Face and Dolly May are both out alertly, joined on the inside by Modera. And just behind them, Catarini is a close-up fourth as they move into the first turn. And it's Modera on the inside. Catarini is now right up alongside the challenge. Those two vying for the early lead, opening up a length and a half on Corporal Violet, who's down on the inside. Blonde Bombshell moves up, now takes the second spot. Then it's In Your Face fifth, about 4 lengths off the lead. Followed by Magazine. Dolly May, who broke well, is now in mid-pack. Inside Downburst. Ajoria is next. Followed on the outside by She's Misbehaving. And another 2 back to Mimsy. They run down the back stretch behind Catarini. It's Catarini with a 2-length advantage on Blonde Bombshell in second. Another 3 back to In Your Face in third. Modera is back to fourth as they head toward the 3/8 pole. Then Magazine. Corporal Violet just steadying slightly. Between rivals comes Dolly May with Downburst outside of her. Downburst just past that pair. DeJoria is next on the inside of She's Misbehaving. And Mimsy continues at the back of the field. They're a quarter of a mile from home. And Catarini holding on, cuts the corner, leads it by 2, widens now to 3 with a furlong left to go. In Your Face on the outside, trying to challenge. These two are dominating past the 16th. It's Catarini or In Your Face. Rispoli and Hernandez going at it. And now it's In Your Face taking over. And it will be In Your Face to win by a length and a half. Catarini was second. Dolly May finished third. Photo fourth between Magazine and Blonde Bombshell. They're in the gate. And they're off. Arctic Breeze, Don't Bring Crazy. Here's Nothing Like You now sprinting up, and the favorite takes command into the first turn. So it will be Nothing Like You to clear off. Great 48 is racing in between horses. Down at the rail, Don't Bring Crazy is just a length off the lead. And Arctic Breeze 3 deep with 2.5 to make up. It's another 4 to Tenma, who trails. They have 6 furlongs to run, and it's Nothing Like You, the leader. Don't Bring Crazy down on the fence. Gets a little bit of room, too. And inches closer in second, followed by Arctic Breeze third. Great 48 is in between rivals. Those 3 line up behind Nothing Like You with about 4.5 furlongs to go. It's now a gap of 5 or more back to Tenma. Half mile to run, Nothing Like You to catch. Maintains the length lead. Great 48 in between rivals. Don't Bring Crazy in the purple colors down at the rail. And Arctic Breeze loses just a touch of ground now. 3 off the lead, pushed along. Gap of 5 to Tenma. 3 furlongs out. Nothing Like You, 2-length lead. Great 48 fully extended in second. Then Don't Bring Crazy third. They're a quarter of a mile from home. Nothing Like You's been doing it easily thus far. Great 48 trying to get closer in second. 3/16 to run. Nothing Like You, 3-length lead. Great 48, very good effort. Chasing with determination, followed by Don't Bring Crazy in third, but with a 16th to go, Nothing Like You is just too strong. A dominant front-running performance and a sweep of the double for Juan Hernandez. Nothing Like You, hand-ridden by almost 6 lengths. Great 48, Don't Bring Crazy in Arctic Breeze. We're in the gate. And they're off. My partner, Glenn, Hula Candy. Here's Calm Sea coming through on the inside to lead the field. So it's Calm Sea and Hula Candy now head and head for the front, with Smooth Salute in third, racing on the outside of my partner, Glenn. St. Ignacio is next, followed by Pinehurst. And Legislator, the heavy favorite, is about 6 lengths off the lead under a strong hold in the opening furlongs. Calm Sea takes them into the first turn with Hula Candy right off his flank in second. They're followed widest of all by Smooth Salute. And down at the rail, my partner Glenn is racing a joint third. St. Ignacio in between those two. Legislator is next. And Pinehurst 5 lengths front to back. Calm Sea takes him on to the backstretch by just about a length. Hula Candy racing in second, then Smooth Salute in third. St. Ignacio is pretty keen in between horses, in some traffic, and my partner Glenn inside of him. Legislator is comfortable while 4 lengths off the lead, and Pinehurst continues at the back. It's Calm Sea into the far turn as they start to quicken a bit. Hula Candy a half length back in second. 2 more lengths, Smooth Salute, a wide third. St. Ignacio, my partner Glenn is next. Legislator will have to go 4 wide, but he starts to pick up some pieces now. And there goes Legislator with a 4 wide bid at the top of the stretch. Calm Seas in front. Legislator in full gear on the outside of Hula Candy. There's an 1/8 to go, and Calm Sea has something left. Chased throughout by Hula Candy and Legislator on the outside. Coming to the 16th pole, and Calm Sea sprinting for the line. Hula Candy game effort. It's going to come down to these two. Here's the line. Photo finish. That got so close, right on the money. Calm Sea and Hula Candy close between those two. Legislator was third. Salute in third. St. Ignacio is pretty keen in between horses, in some traffic, and my partner Glenn inside of him. In the gate. And they're off. Saul's Call in the center is out alertly. Super Chief is second in the early stages. And then it's Colt Fiction coming through at the rail. Stay in the Game is in between rivals, 3 lengths off the lead. Then El Diablo Rojo and Seattle Breakout trails. They're coming toward the half-mile pole with Saul's Call leading the way by about a length. Colt Fiction, Super Chief are right together, second and third, with El Diablo Rojo outside. Stay in the Game, 5 clear of Seattle Breakout. 3/8 to run. Saul's Call to catch. Super Chief, the heavy favorite, into second, has to get closer now. Followed by Colt Fiction and El Diablo Rojo, third and fourth. A length and a half. Stay in the Game is fifth. And Seattle Breakout has trailed throughout. They're a 1/4 mile from home. Saul's Call, Super Chief within a next second. These two come to the 8th pole together. Saul's Call on the inside and Super Chief. Super Chief is now up to take a narrow lead from Saul's Call. At the rail, Colt Fiction and El Diablo Rojo. Super Chief, Saul's Call tough, but second best. It will be Super Chief. That's 3 for Juan Hernandez. Saul's Call second. Colt Fiction and El Diablo Rojo. We're in the gate. And they're off. Quick beginning for Double Bay. Impec is up close in the early going. And here's Ice Cream, You Scream, moving up to take second. Not a Sinner is close up, now taking the third spot, just in front of Impec as they head toward the half-mile pole. Respect the Crown and Ellie Moore are next. They're racing about 5 or 6 lengths, now about 7, behind this front runner who's getting loose on the front end. Kaylin Dana is next to 2 trailers visually, and Feisty Matoli at the back of the field. It's Double Bay into the far turn, leading it by 2. Ice Cream, You Scream second. Not a Sinner at the rail is in third. Having to steady behind a tiring Respect the Crown was Ellie Moore. And Ellie Moore certainly compromised, now 8 lengths off the lead. In the meantime, Impec in the green is making a 3 wide bid. Ice Cream, You Scream up to Double Bay. Ice Cream, You Scream has the lead. In the center of the course, Feisty Matoli is starting to find a little bit of stride, and Respect the Crown is there. Ice Cream, You Scream, Not a Sinner takes up the chase in second. Ice Cream, You Scream, Ice Cream, You Scream We all scream for ice cream. Wins it by 3. Not a sinner second. It's a photo. Impec got the show, though, just in front of Respect the Crowd. They're in the gate. And they're off. Quick start for Take Action. Habeas and the Pink Silks is up close. John Gray is now coming through along the inside to vie for command. And King Zog is widest of all. 50 Cinco in the orange is in between rivals. Chaos Reigns also in the mix, just steadying behind the top quartet. They're followed by Emerald Union. Pop Pop's ride second to last. And My Brother Mike is at the back of the field. It's Habeas, King Zog, head and head. Take Action at the rail, keeping pace in third. Those three coming to the quarter pole together. Chaos Reigns has a bit of breathing room now in fourth, followed by 50 Cinco. John Gray has dropped out. Then it's Emerald Rain on the outside of Pop Pop's ride there at the top of the stretch, and these three still do battle as Take Action now gets the upper hand, opens up a length on Habeas in second. King Zog fighting on in third. Chaos Reigns and 50 Cinco past the 16th pole, and it's Take Action. Take Action too strong, pulling clear in the end to win it by 2.5. Habeas second. King Zog third in front of Chaos Reigns and 50 Cinco completes the super high five. Going in. And they're off. Rose Dawson is out very quickly. Now, here comes Organic sprinting through along the fence, and Organic takes over, opens up 3 lengths. Rose Dawson second, Ultimate High down on the inside, and then Rose Maddox in fourth, 7 lengths off this loose and ambitious leader who has opened up a huge lead. Clean Karma is next as they run down the hill. On the outside of Clean Karma comes Chismosa, and the 3-wide trailer is Madiha. It's Organic with the pedal to the metal has opened up about 8 lengths. Rose Dawson in second, Ultimate High and Rose Maddox are right together, and they're followed by Madiha fifth, a dozen lengths off the lead and moving up 4 wide. The 2 trailers, Chismosa and Clean Karma. They have a quarter of a mile to go, and it's Organic clear by 4. On the outside, Rose Maddox, Ultimate High, center of the course. Madiha running a good race. They're in the final furlong. Madiha is coming after Rose Maddox, who's the new leader. Rose Maddox opens up 2. Madiha second, Rose Dawson in third. It's Rose Maddox. Rose Maddox strong to the wire, and Rose Maddox has won the California Distaff decisively over Madiha. Photo for third and oncoming Chismosa in front of Rose Dawson and Ultimate High. The race started the late pick 4, post time in 20 minutes. Yep. Awesome Taylor. And they're off. Fast start for Equilove. Mo Connolly has some early interest as well through the opening furlong. Here's Drizella moving up to engage the front runner, and Code Ribbon is now racing a joint third. Jaquadra's Devil is in between rivals. A new piece is down at the rail in the orange. Mo Connolly losing ground now. Inside Never Sway. The 3 trailers, Roman Empress, She's a Girly Girl, and Awesome Taylor outside of that pair. It's Equilove with 3.5 furlongs to go. Leading the way by about a length, pursued by Drizella in second. 2.5 more, a new piece and Code Ribbon are right together. A new piece clearly into third and now coming after the top pair. Behind them, Never Sway has some momentum in fifth, 5 lengths off the lead with a quarter of a mile to go. And Equilove is the one to catch, has built up a 3-length lead as they turn for home. On the outside, a New Piece and Never Sway continue to chase. They're in the final 1/8 of a mile. Equilove, 2.5. A New Piece, Never Sway. It's Equilove, a New Piece within a length and starting to close the gap. It is still Equilove, a New Piece coming. A New Piece has the momentum, and a New Piece gets up under Armando Ayuso. Equilove lost a heartbreaker. Then it was Never Sway, followed by a battle between She's a Girly Girl and Jaquadra's Devil. Here's Quezon. In the gate. And they're off. Big Hat Willie is out alertly. So is Big Coop in the center of the race course. And also down at the rail, here's Mark's Hip. So Mark's Hip takes the lead. Mastermind has now moved up on the outside to engage the front runner. And Giovinazzo in between them. They're keeping pressure on one another and setting a swift early tempo. In the meantime, Big Hat Willie secures a good spot in fourth, 4 lengths off the lead, followed by Low Expectations racing on the outside of Big Coop. Mo Rewards is second to last, just in front of Quezon. They swing on to the backstretch, and Mark's Hip, sizzling along, has a 3-length lead as they run toward the half-mile pole. Mastermind is second by the same margin, and then Giovinazzo third. Another 5 lengths back to Big Hat Willie, followed by Low Expectations. Quezon is on the outside trying to make some headway. Big Coop and Mo Rewards at the back. Around the turn, no turning back for Mark's Hip. It's a 7-length lead around the far turn. Mastermind now 8 lengths behind in second. Steady headway for Quezon on the outside. On the move, Quezon takes second and is coming after Mark's Hip. Behind him comes Low Expectations. They turn for home. Mark's Hip, the lead shrinking. It's a 2-length advantage. Quezon coming at him, and Quezon runs right by at the 8th pole. Mo Rewards finishing well, as is Big Hat Willie. Big Hat Willie clearly into second, and he's coming swiftly now at Quezon. Here's Big Hat Willie. Quezon has something left. Quezon or Big Hat Willie. Quezon, Big Hat Willie. Quezon held on. Big Hat Willie just missed. And that means we have a riding double for Armando Ayuso. Stamp My Passport goes in. They're in the gate. And they're off. What a perfect start. Mishalov in the center of the course. Arrow the Great has speed. Ever a Rebel is coming through along the inside. Breakfast Ride fourth in the early going, and down at the rail, it's Ghazali about 4 lengths off the pace. Then Smart Mo, who's 3 deep at this stage. Phineas is next. The 2 trailers, Clouseau, in some serious traffic, and Stamp My Passport is very wide. They move on to the backstretch, and it's Arrow the Great, taken in hand and leading 3/4 of a length to Mishalov in second. Then comes Breakfast Ride and Ever a Rebel right together, a joint third. Phineas 4 lengths off the lead. Ghazali is down on the rail with the white blinkers. Smart Mo is about 4 deep. Inside of him is Clouseau, and Stamp My Passport 6 lengths covers the group. Continuing down the backstretch, Arrow the Great and Victor Espinoza leading 3/4 of a length. Mishalov still racing in second. Ghazali has made some headway into third. Smart Mo on the outside, Breakfast Ride in between those two. They're followed by Stamp My Passport, who's out of last, 5 lengths off the leader. Phineas, Clouseau, and now at the back of the field is Ever a Rebel. They have a 1/4 of a mile to run, and Arrow the Great turns for home, has something left. Arrow the Great leads it by 2. On the outside, Mishalov trying to battle for second with Ghazali. Ghazali is clearly into second and trying to get to Arrow the Great. Arrow the Great just keeps on digging in, and it's Arrow the Great, wire to wire. Ghazali was second, 3-way photo for third between Mishalov, Smart Mo, and outside of them was Clouseau. There's some movement there from Birth of Cool, who's fractious. And they're off. Jack's Outlaw and Departure are the first two out of the gate. They're joined by Birth of Cool. And so Birth of Cool now goes with Departure to vie for the lead. Tiz Plus takes third. Jack's Outlaw is back to fourth. Then it's Grape Nuts Warrior fifth and about 5 lengths off the leader. Another 3 back to Majestic Eagle racing on the inside of Overdue. The two trailers, Cali Bay and Boaster, is at the back after a tardy beginning. They move on to the backstretch behind Departure, who leads the way 3/4 of a length. In second is Birth of Cool. They're followed by Tiz Plus, then Grape Nuts Warrior and Jack's Outlaws 4 lengths off the lead. Majestic Eagle is next, racing about a length in front of Overdue, who covers up Cali Bay, and another 3 back to Boaster. Not much change in the running order. It's Departure and Kyle Frey showing the way a length and a half. Birth of Cool is in second. Tiz Plus has had a good trip. He's right on the inside, saving ground third. Grape Nuts Warrior races in fourth. Followed at the rail by Cali Bay and Jack's Outlaw. 3 more to Overdue and Majestic Eagle. And then Boaster there at the top of the stretch. And Departure has been there throughout. Now here's Tiz Plus coming after him. Gamely in second. Departure and Tiz Plus head and head. But Departure is digging in. Departure still leads by a half length. Tiz Plus all out trying to get by Departure or Tiz Plus. Departure coast to coast at a price. Tiz Plus second. Cali Bay third. Fourth was a photo between Overdue and Jack's Outlaw.
There are not many guarantees at the racetrack, but I can tell you what, today I'm guaranteeing you something. You're going to be smarter about today's card and maybe even the Pac-12 football conference over the next 38 minutes. Hi, everybody. My name is Tom Quigley, and our special guest today, he's the El Jefe of the San Diego Press Box. He's one of the most respected handicappers anywhere in the world, much less North America. His name, Jeff Siegel. Jeff, happy Sunday. Welcome to the seminar.
Thank you for having me.
It's great to see you. I teased that we're going to learn a little bit about the Pac-12. Last night, Pac-12 at night, 2 disappointing efforts by both LA-based teams. Of course, your Bruins got beat pretty handily by Oregon State, and USC traveled to South Bend, and Caleb Williams already, it looks like he might not be the Heisman favorite going forward. What were your impressions of those 2 games?
Well, you're happy, aren't you?
I'm very happy. Can you imagine? I'm a Notre Dame guy.
I know that. So I was a Notre Dame guy too last night. Maybe the only game of the year.
Let's face it. You root for any team that plays USC. That's basically what you do every weekend.
Vigorously. So that was good.
So USC got beat, but what about the Bruins? What happened?
We got beat.
Yeah. Better team?
Not necessarily, but they played better. So anyway, that's yesterday's news. Today's news though is horse racing, and I did it on during all those interceptions we were throwing. I was doing a lot of work here, so I think I'm prepared. I hope I am.
I know that you're prepared, but before we talk about today's card, in less than 3 weeks, we've got the 40th anniversary of the Breeders' Cup happening right here at San Ina. Of course, it's a little bit too early to tell about who's going to be in which field, but we do know the Classic has some really impressive 3-year-olds that are pointing toward the Breeders' Cup Classic. Of course, the Travers and Belmont Stakes winner, and then the 1-2 finishers in the Pacific Classic down at Del Mar. Do you think the 3-year-olds can compete against not only the older contingency, but also the foreign invaders from Japan and everywhere else?
Yeah, I do. I think the 3-year-olds are better. They just are. I mean, this is the way. Not always that way, but Arcangelo is really a very good colt. And the thing about him is that while he's a 3-year-old, he's an older 3-year-old now, almost 4. And he's getting better with every start. And he's been out here training. He looks terrific. He's got the perfect style for 1.25 miles, in which case I think he'll get a great trip. He likes to lay fairly close, doesn't need the lead to win, handles any kind of ground. And I just think he's exceptional. I'm not saying he's Flightline or anything like that, but he's among the better 3-year-olds I think that we've seen in the Classic in recent years, and he'll get nothing but better. So I'm all in on the 3-year-olds, especially Arcangelo. If it's not him, then I'm kind of I probably would have to opt with some of the other 3-year-olds because I'm just not impressed with the older horses. They're just not that good.
You follow racing from around the country and around the world. Is there maybe 1 or 2 horses that you anticipate competing in the Breeders' Cup that you're looking forward to not only seeing, but maybe wagering on?
Well, yeah, I'm looking at the prospective fields now, and every race has more than one contender except for one, as far as I can see, and that's the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies. I think Tamara is a superior filly, and I think she's
the daughter of Beholder.
Yeah, and at this stage, it's not going out on a limb to say that she could very well be better than Beholder at this stage of her career. Now, Beholder, because of the incredibly fantastic job that Richard Mandela did with her to harness all of that speed and then slow her down and get her to relax as she did as an older horse. Her daughter already knows how to do that. I shouldn't have to teach her anything, really. Just go out there, kind of sit 3rd or 4th into the bridle, sit, and then quicken. And that's what we've seen for her. And while she's only been around 1 turn, the longer the better. I've watched her train out here, and she looks spectacular. So all my eggs are going to be in her basket in terms of a single. Now, some of the other races I may end up, like, for example, Arcangelo, I may end up using him as a single because I don't want to spread, because my theory being if he doesn't win, there might be 4 or 5 others that could, and I don't want to go that deep and try to beat a horse I think's going to win. But the same applies for Tamara. I think she is the one horse on the entire 2-day program that I don't see losing.
I mentioned, Jeff, that it's the 40-year anniversary. Circle back to 1983 with the inaugural edition at Hollywood Park. I'm sure you were there. Could you ever expect that it would turn into a 2-day extravaganza and have 14 races in totality?
Funny thing is about that day, I was actually spotting for NBC for Dick Enberg that day. So that was kind of fun.
I can imagine.
And every time the race was over, I'd be pointing to him to tell him who won the race.
He loved racing.
Oh, yeah. No, he did. He really did, which is why he accepted the job. I mean, there weren't that many NBC, announcers or sports guys that really knew racing that well. It basically came down to who raised their hand. I'll do it. And he was terrific. And so I remember that race, that day, that one day, very, very vividly. And the Wild Again and all that other great classics.
Gate Dancer.
Gate Dancer. So that was and then Lashkari, who won the turf that day at 50-1, trained by a young French trainer that I also had used over with horses I had in France at the time, Alain Royer Dupré, who became the Aga Khan's trainer. Anyway, I kind of chided him. You didn't tell me he was going to win at 50-1, and he said, I didn't know. Okay, fair enough.
Jeff,
that was actually 1984, and it was just an incredible day of racing in Hollywood Park.
Jeff has plenty of experiences handicapping 50-1 winners. His own Martial Law won the big cap here. You remember that with Martin Pedroza in the saddle and Huli Kanani as the trainer. More importantly, we're going to find out who Jeff likes on today's 11 race card. But before we do any of that, let's toss the microphone over to track announcer Frank Miramati and get the early changes, which are minimal, on today's 11 race card here at the Great Race Place.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Santa Anita Park. The track is fast, the turf is firm, the rail on the turf out 20 feet. Here are the early changes. No changes in the first. In the second, number 1, Screaming Virginia, carries 2 pounds overweight. Third race, no scratches or jockey changes. In the fourth, scratch number 7, Blameless, and with that scratch, there's no super high 5. Fifth race has blinker notes and is the start of the middle, pick 4. Sixth race begins the $1 pick 6. No changes. Seventh race overweights, 2 plus 4, 3 plus 1, 6 plus 2, 7 plus 2. The seventh is the California Flag Handicap. Race 8, scratch 1, Fast Investment. Scratch 6, Stylish Dress. Scratch 7, Vulin. Scratch number 11, Miss Commander. 1, 6, 7, 11 are out of the 8th, and with that, we have a revised morning line. Race 9, number 2, Golden Again, is 1 pound over. 10th has a blinker note, as does race 11. Couple of blinker notes there. Enjoy your day at the Great Race Place. Post time for the opener in 58 minutes at 12:30. Let's go back to Quigley's Corner. His special guest today is Jeff Siegel.
Welcome back. We're talking horses with Jeff Siegel. You can get his work absolutely free of charge and read his analysis on the Santa Anita website. You will be a better handicapper because of it, but more importantly, over the next 28 minutes or so, you'll be able to hear Jeff discuss each and every race in detail, beginning in race number 1, where we're sprinting 6 furlongs on the turf course. The rails today are at 20 feet, and race 1 is a straight $50,000 claiming race. We've got a field of 9. Favoritism going back and forth between one of the 2 Peter Urton runners, either number 1, Jet Evader, or number 8, Exaltation. Both like this flat turf course. What say you about race 1, Jeff?
I mean, that's the race. I mean, there are others in here. I think the Northern California Invader, number 5, Rager, I think you can throw him in as well. He's a pretty consistent horse with good numbers and fits with these. But Exaltation's a real pro. You can see that Peter's tried to keep him going now. I mean, he's an old horse and he's only run 22 times, but he's got to space his races and keep him healthy. And he's bringing him back at the same level at which he won at Del Mar in mid-August. He's a 4-time winner here at Santa Anita. He's got the good tactical speed, likes to spot, pounce, and go. And I think he'll probably be sitting behind his stablemate Jet Evader, who's got nowhere to go but on the lead from the rail. I think he'll bust out there and go. They both have races. I tend to feel that maybe when push comes to shove in the final 16th of a mile, I kind of trust Exaltation a little bit more. He's won his last 3, and he always seems to dig down deep in the final stages. He's got a very good record with winning races by a half length or less, which is what I like. So I'm going to go 8 over 1. It's, these are others in here that wouldn't be a shock, but I think I can count on Exaltation to run his best race.
Interesting to see Isaias Enriquez back in town to ride number 9, Golden Ale. That's his only mount on today's card. He primarily rides in the Southwest in New Mexico, but he's back in Southern California today. Race number 2 begins the 50-cent early pick 4, sprinting 6 furlongs in the main track. This race is for Maiden claiming 2-year-old fillies in for a $40,000 tag. A field of 7, morning line favorite on the bottom, dropping down is number 7, Into Yellowstone from the Peter Miller barn, 2-1 on the morning line. Give us your thoughts on race 2, Jeff.
Realistic spot for a filly. They gave a little bit of money for her, the 2-year-old sale in Ocala, $70,000. Tried her with straight maidens first time out. That didn't work. And I think at this stage, Peter's got enough horses where he can kind of move them around a little bit and get realistic. He's not worried about taking a loss on this filly. So outside draw, good solid work at San Luis Downs from the gate. In fact, a very healthy work pattern I like. I think she's fine. I think she just has been proven to be not up to to what is needed to be in straight maiden company. But this is a weak maiden 40. It really is. You can look at the numbers that some of the others have earned, the speed figures of the other main players, and they're very, very slow, much slower than par. So outside draw, early speed, likely or very possibly can clear this field and get brave. Number 7 into Yellowstone. 2-1 on the morning line. No bargain there, but if it's not her, it could be just about anybody.
There's 2 fillies in this field that have been running against the boys, Jeff. Just wanted to get your thoughts on them. Number 1, Screaming Virginia has run against the boys the last 2 times out. Gets J.D. Lopez in the cell. Don't know much about him. And number 4, Green Tees was disappointing last time out at even money. She ran against the boys that particular day as well. You give either one of those fillies a look?
Green Tees ran third last time out at beaten favorite. I like Paul as a trainer. I think he's a good trainer. And
speaking of Julio Canani,
yeah,
he used to work with him.
Right. So I think that she's got a right to improve. But in terms of the boys versus girls, at this stage, 2-year-olds, the girls are actually more precocious. I don't think there's any difference, really.
That's true year to year or this specific year?
No, year to year. They come to hand quicker. That kind of changes over maybe after the first of the year. But even until the spring, you'll see 3-year-old fillies compete very, very successfully with the boys if they're asked to do it. There's no real reason to. But 2-year-old races don't often fill sometimes. So trainers will say, I don't care. Colts, fillies makes no difference. Colts might be even tougher. So doesn't bother me.
You put a smile on my face because Philly beating the boys brings to mind Winning Colors, winning the Kentucky Derby for D. Wayne Lucas. Rumor has it you might have had some future book action on her in the Kentucky Derby. Is that true? Or
well, I had a little bit, but the proudest moment of my life was in the. I'll brag a little bit here.
Sure, go ahead. We've got 23 minutes.
All right. So I picked Winning Colors in the Derby just partially because I'm a homer for California, but I also thought the race came up well. And I saw Wayne Lucas the morning of the race, and I said, Wayne, don't worry, you'll win it. And he said, well, I don't know, it's a tough race. I said, yeah, it's a tough race, you're going to win it. And then in the post-race interviews, someone asked Wayne if he thought she was going to win. He said, well, I was a little concerned, and Siegel told me she was going to win, so I figured I got this. I said, thank you very much for the tout there. But that was back in '89, and that was pretty exciting. And she was, but then I found out later that maybe Risen Star was a little bit better. I don't know. He proved in the Belmont and the Preakness that maybe he was the best of the crop. But at that day, it's all that mattered to me.
Race number 3, we're back on the turf course. This time 2 turns, 1 mile is the distance. It's a starter optional claiming race. We've got a field of 8. Morning line favorite. One of 3 3-year-olds in the field is number 5, Mega Moon. Once again from the Peter Miller barn, 5-2 on the morning line. Talk to us about race 3, Jeff.
Well, I think he's got a good spot to win here. I like the way he broke his maiden. They took him back, got some cover, and then he blasted home. And then last time, for whatever reason, maybe it was the inside draw, whatever it was, he got caught on the pace, and he hung on as well as he could. Battle Calls, a decent sort of horse for the level, proven to be a productive race. I think what Juan Hernandez is going to do is try to get him over and sit behind some horses and maybe third or fourth, and then just keep him into the bridle, and then from the quarter pole home, kind of turn him loose. I think if he gets that kind of trip, he can run back to his win 2 races back, and his numbers are steadily rising. So he's lightly raced, getting better, just a 3-year-old. Buy a horse who figures to get a horse that'll get better. So I think Mega Moon is in a good spot here.
We also see you like number 1, Worst Reed Sanchez, who's 1 for 20 lifetime, but now in for the tag. Generally speaking, Jeff, not specifically about Worst Reed Sanchez, but do you tend to avoid runners who habitually never seem to visit the winner's circle? Is there some sort of hang in some thoroughbreds that you tend to kind of see and avoid from a betting standpoint?
Absolutely. I like to see one's next to a horse's name, or at least one's next to a horse's name when he's supposed to be in a spot to win. Now, my prejudice against Worst Reed Sanchez, and I do think he'll probably hit the board, even though one of the reasons why I don't like him is because he's run 20 times with 1 win, but he's been off the board 15 times. He's not exactly the kind of horse you can kind of count on, and yet he is facing easier. He's going to get the rail. He's going to get a great trip. He's going to have dead aim. He's going to have every chance from the quarter pole, and then we'll see maybe at this level where he can get brave. But I just don't I don't want to take a relatively short price on a horse that just consistently can't deliver. And it's not like he hasn't had chances in races that he should have delivered.
Fair enough. Let's take a look at race number 4. Back sprinting 6 furlongs in the main track. $12,500 claimers. 1 scratch. Scratch the bottom. Number 7, Blameless, will not compete. Leaves us with a field of 6. Morning line favorite number 4, Top Gun Tommy from the Steve Knapp barn. 8-5 on the morning line. Mr. Knapp looking for his first victory of the autumn meet here at Santa Anita. Is today the day, Jeff?
Probably will be. Top Gun Tommy coming out of a 10. He's moving up a level, which is the right thing to do with a first off the claim play at this level. Beaten half length, but was 4 clear of everybody else. So that was a pretty good race. The speed figure he earned is par for this level, so the 1 level raising class is meaningless. He's got enough early speed to be fairly close in a race that doesn't look like it has a whole lot, quite frankly. So he should be comfortably placed in the first flight, which is why he's 8-5 on the morning line. I'm not sure he's the kind of horse that you want to take a short price on, but I mean, Rookie Mistake looks like he should be. He's got much better numbers, but he's another one of these 3 for 31 horses who's 0 for 12 lifetime at Santa Anita. So I guess you could throw him in there as protection, but I think it's 4/3 here.
Question for you, Jeff. Again, just generally speaking, we can see number 1, Tembo, last time out, ran at Los Alamitos, and a number of runners in this field did, including number 2, Big Swede. How do you translate the performances at Los Alamitos here to Santa Anita? It's such a different configuration in terms of the racetrack. How do you kind of handle that when you're handicapping?
If there's no other evidence that I can use other than a Los Al race, like maybe with a Maiden or whatever, then I will use it. But if not, I'll almost ignore it and go back and try to find races that horse has run on this track, because these are 2 different tracks.
Very much
Los
so.
Alamitos is a very glib, fast track. This one has got a lot more give to it, and it's a lot more taxing. It's apples and oranges. So if a horse runs well at Los Al and has run well here, that's great, fine. But I'm not giving any horse any credit for any race at Los Al unless I have to, or unless they've done it here as well.
Race number 5 on an 11 race card means this is time for the 50-cent middle pick 4. That's right. We offer a 50-cent middle pick 4 on cards where we have either 10 or 11 races like today. And the middle pick 4 kicks off in race number 5, going 1 mile on the turf course for fillies and mares, allowance optional claiming types, non-winners of 2 other than a field of 6. The morning line favorite, number 2, Kitty Katana, who is putting blinkers on for Phil D'Amato. Talk to us about race 5, Jeff.
Well, I've seen Kitty Katana, and she always seems like she's right there where she needs to be, and she doesn't seem to be able to buckle down in the final 16th. I mean, she's 2 for 13, but she's got a total of 8 seconds and thirds. So when push comes to shove in the final 16th of a mile, you can't always count on her to get there. Now, she did win a race 5 back, but that was a race in which she came from 9 lengths back when it went 45-2 to the half. She almost had no option but to go on with it because everybody else was exhausted. But in this race, there's a pace scenario that really does favor Graceland Gray, number 5. There's nobody to run with her, as there wasn't last time. And I'm not saying these fractions are legit, but she definitely went fast, 21-1, 44-2, according to the official timer at Del Mar, which isn't always trustworthy. But she ran off like she normally does and paid the price late. But I wagered on her back at Del Mar back in July of 22 when she was 18-1. And at that time, she wasn't speed crazy. She could go 24, 48, 12 and change. And if she can somehow, under Juan Hernandez, who will be riding her for the first time, who's to me the far and away the best rider we have out here, bar none. If she switches off and doesn't pull just a little bit, there's no way they're catching her. That's how I see it. And she's 5-2. So Graceland Gray for me over Kitty Katana, and I don't know what the blinkers will do with her. I think Phil's just trying to experiment, just trying anything. Why not at this stage? But if Graceland Gray is able to stroll out of there and get that first quarter in 23 and change, I hope, then and isn't pulling and doing it. I mean, she's got to be switched off. Then I think she'll roll all the way to the wire.
Race number 6 begins the $1 pick 6 sequence. By the way, are you happy to see the return of the $1 pick 6?
Well, it's a return from me because I didn't play the other rainbow thing
right
since it started. I mean, over the rainbow, goodbye,
I think a lot of players feel that way.
No, I mean, I was a professional pick 6 player back in the 80s when it was a $2. And what we were able to do with my group in the press box is we were able to include horses that really had a chance at a price that other people wouldn't use because it was either too expensive or just too far out. And when we were to make money with the pick 6s blowing other people out, that's how we did it. with the rainbow thing and the 20 cent. You can't do that anymore. People just throw horses against the wall. They don't even know if they like them.
Southern California used to be the home of the biggest pick six pools anywhere in the country. Now that's kind of changed, but I think the return of the $1 pick six is moving in the right direction because players want to make a score, whether it's $1 or $2. You're still going to be able to make a score, and we've seen that already this meet. We've had a lot of races that have been filled with favorites winning, and yet the pick six still pays $5,000 or $6,000, including yesterday when there was just one winning ticket.
I would rather have it too, but I'll settle.
You got deep pockets. You know, some of us don't have the deep pockets like you do.
Well, I've got deep pockets and friends too. They got deep pockets. But I'd rather have it too. I'm happy with one.
Sure.
I'm just happy to have it back. And I think the management did the right thing. And I didn't really question them when they went back when I went to the 20-cent thing, because to me, they were trying. It was a business decision. I didn't understand it. They lost me, and I guess they lost a lot of other people. But now they're getting people back, and I think that's important.
Well, we need 6 winners in a row in order to hit the pick six. So who's it going to be in race 6, Jeff? This is a 6 furlong race for maiden special weight, Calbred, fillies and mares. Number 5, Sandacy, coming back on 9 days for Gary Studi, is the 5-2 morning line choice. Give us the winner of race 6.
Well, I picked her on top, but I don't trust her, and this is a spread race for me. I could see at least 4 that could win, maybe even 5. So Sandacy, she's going back a little quicker than I'd like. She did run well on the dirt at Del Mar, beaten ahead. That was a good race. And she's been right there in all 3 of her starts. Numbers are okay. So you know, if she doesn't react off that short turnaround, then yeah, I expect her to run well. But she got beat at 6-5 last time out. Once you see a beaten favorite in a race that you think they should have won, you're a little gun shy. I'm certainly not going to be shocked if she wins, but I think Magic Wanderer, her form up in Northern California is pretty good. She ran well on the dirt at Santa Rosa in her debut, so I don't think that's going to be bothering her. She's a consistent filly with a weight break, which I think might be significant, and just a good solid form. Rhyme or Reason actually ran pretty well on the grass first time out. She's by Karen Headley's filly. It doesn't have any grass breeding. I don't see any reason why she wouldn't be just as good on the dirt or better second-time starter. So there are a number you can throw in here. I'll go with Sandacy on top, but trust me, she has no chance of just being a single. Spread the races, use as many as you can afford to.
Race number 7 is our feature race on the card. It's the $100,000 guaranteed California flag handicap coming down the Hillside Turf Course for Calbreds. We've got a field of 7. The high weight on the rail, number 1, Brickyard Ride, carries 126 pounds. Also, race 7 begins the 50-cent late pick 5 sequence, and also the new wager, the $3 all turf pick 3. Did you see the results yesterday? Paid in excess of $3,000 for a $3 wager. Congratulations to those skilled handicappers who hit that wager. And in race number 7 today, the morning line favorite is number 4, Kings River Knight, who's 7-5 on the morning line. Club Brickyard Ride 9-5 on the morning line. Does it come down to just a 2-horse race, or is there a sleeper in the field?
No, I think it's it, and I really do like Kings River Knight, who I call a poor man's The Chosen Brawn, because he's just as consistent. Doesn't have quite the bankroll. That's why I call him the poor man's, but he's getting there. And you talk about genuine and consistent. How about a horse who's been first or second in 11 of 12 career starts? Not only that, but he wins long on the dirt, long on the grass. He's run well, short on the dirt, even though he's only done it twice. And I think, he's so consistent, and he's got such a great style because he always sits close. He can win on the lead if you give it to him, but he doesn't need the lead. And through all of that, he's actually run well in his only start down the hill. He did that in the Sensational Star. Got beat a nose that day. But
by the Chosen Run.
Exactly. And if you tell me that if you can run the Chosen Run to a nose in a race like that, you should be able to beat this group, right? Right? So
I would think logically, but sometimes logic doesn't apply in horse racing.
Well, I know, but most of the time,
okay,
35 to 40%, it does. So I'm going to go with Kings River Knight to beat Brickyard Ride, who may not be quite as good as he used to be, but he's always dangerous if he can shake loose on the lead. But somehow, some way, I think Kings River Knight will keep him in sight, then go on by.
Race number 8 begins the 50-cent late pick 4 sequence. We're back on the main track. 1 mile is the distance for maiden claimers, fillies and mares, in for a $20,000 tag. Three scratches and 1 program scratch. Delete the following runners from this field: 1, 6, 7, and 11. All will not compete. That leaves us with a field of 7. And the revised morning line favorite is now number 3, Warren Showbiz from the Craig Lewis barn. Now 2-1 on the morning line. Warren Showbiz has had 17 chances with no success up to this point. Last time out at Los Al Sprinting, lost to a maiden special weight dropper. Is today Cap and Gown Day?
Maybe, but not with my money. I mean, if you're playing a rolling exotic or the pick 6, I guess you wouldn't want to get blown out because she beat you, but
But reluctantly including her.
I guess, I mean, I just and then yell at yourself if she loses, and why did I waste my money on her?
That's why partners are always so dangerous in the pick six. You always scream at the person who told you to include the 0 for 17 maiden.
I'll never forget the late Alan Malamed told a story. We had a pick six, and uh, we talked him in to singling a filly and a maiden, his first time starter, and we were saying, the barn loves the horse, she's trained well, this and that. Anyway, she got beat a half length, and he says, yeah, good information, Anyway, she ended up winning like 5 grade ones down the road, So yeah, partners can be somewhat tough. You got to be careful with that.
It be a sticky proposition.
So I would talk my partnership out of not using her, but they talked me into using her, and I would probably keep quiet if she didn't. I ended up with number 2, Ipanema Girl. She's got the 2 sprints in a stretch out pattern that I like, although one of them was last year. Second off the barn for Carla Gaines. Showed a little speed sprinting first time out. Now she stretches out from the rail. Might get brave on the lead. Looks like she's got a healthy work pattern since that race in July. I don't know if she can run or not, but at
5
least
to 1. That's a good betting price.
Well, she'll probably be lower, but at least she's not 0 for 17. You know what I'm saying? So,
and she's not unproven at this level. She's never
Right.
run this low.
no, that's part of the angle too.
Sure. Race number 9, back on the turf course, back going 2 turns, 1 mile the distance. Calbred, fillies and mares, non-winners of 1 other than. We've got a good field of 9. Morning line favorite number 2. Golden again from the Steve Knapp barn, 3 to 1 on John White's morning line. Very consistent. You can see 10 times in the money out of 13 career starts. Give us your thoughts on race 9.
And
Jeff.
5 out of 6 over the in the money and the grass course here at Santa Anita, including 2 wins. I mean, she's right there. She's got a good post. There really shouldn't be any excuses for her. It's not like she doesn't like to win. I mean, she tries hard. That's all I ask. Numbers are solid, very consistent. In fact, career top last time out. She had the 11 hole last time out. Now she's got the 2. I'm going to go with Golden again and as a single, only because if she doesn't win, how many do I have to use to figure out who the second horse is? So you're right or you're wrong.
Imagine how expensive it'd be if it was a $2 pick 6, Jeff.
Well, I'd still single her.
Let me ask you a question about a filly that I find a little bit intriguing at a big price, and she's drawn on the outside, number 9, Coalina. She broke this condition sprinting on the main track. She's eligible now to do it on the turf course. She's never been 2 turns on the turf course. We know she's going to be in front. We know the temperatures today are going to be rather warm for mid-October. Sometimes that promotes or propels early speed on the turf course. Do you give her any sort of look at all?
Any controlling speed, any lone speed type of filly is dangerous at 12 to 1. I would never talk you out of it. The barn doesn't usually win with this angle, so it's nothing I can lean on other than hope she clears and hope she hangs on. I don't see it, but I'm not going to talk you out of a race in which if I'm wrong, anybody could be right.
Jeff, you do a lot of video analysis of the workouts, courtesy of our friends at xbtv.com. And, we're all going to be watching a lot of workouts as we lead up to the Breeders' Cup in less than 3 weeks. Generally speaking, just give us a tutorial on what you're looking for when you're watching a workout. Maybe it's a horse that's in company on the training track or maybe on the main track. Are you watching the way the exercise riders are moving their arms and legs? Like, just generally speaking, what are you trying to find out when you're watching when you're watching a workout?
I think one word capsulizes: energy. I want to see. I don't care how fast they go because horses. This is not a race out there. Horses are going to ask to go in 101. They're going 101. They want to go in 59. They go in 59. I want to see how much they have in the bridle and how much they have, how much power, how much strength they have at the finish. Obviously, if you're talking about a first-time starter, you want to see them leave from the gate quickly. You don't want to see them break slow all the time. But I want to see them do what they're being asked to do, and that's all I ask. And most of the time, when you're watching a workout in a horse in form, you're just looking to see that they're maintaining their form, that they're sharp, that they're eager, that they've got power and strength, and they're doing what is asked. That's all I ask. That's fine. That's what I grade a grade A work. But if they're being niggled at and they're kind of losing their action, they're not changing leads, they don't look happy, that's the negative, regardless of how fast or slow they may go.
And workouts could be important because I talked about this on our previous seminar. We have so many runners coming in off extended layoffs. They're not really utilizing the final prep races. They're really going for the gusto and giving it their all in the Breeders' Cup. The workouts now are actually even more important than they were in years past.
Especially with horses coming and working on this track. It's a different track. And if you see a horse that works great on this track that maybe really likes top of the ground, that's a positive. But if they start getting their head up in the air and it starts to sting them a little bit, then I'm a little bit concerned. But when you get these Eastern horses come in, you really do want to, if they're dirt horses, you really do want to watch them and how they handle the main track as best you can.
Make sure you check out xbtv.com in the days and weeks leading up to the Breeders' Cup. Absolutely free of charge. All you have to do is register, and you'll be logged in to watch most of the workouts here at Santa Anita. Race number 10 is for the 2-year-olds. Race number 10, let me repeat that, is for the 2-year-olds, maiden special weights. We've got a field of 8. Bob Baffert has 2 in here, including the inside 2 runners, but the morning line favorite is on the outside, number 8, Mr. Leisure, 5-2 from the Doug O'Neill barn. Good to see Kyle Frey get a mount for Bob Baffert. He's never teamed up with him over the last couple of years. Kyle back on the comeback trail after taking some time off. What say you about race 10, Jeff?
Not really wild about the Baffert Colts. I don't think they're among the better ones in the barn, but I do think Mr. Leisure caught my eye in his sprint race here on the wet fast track. Had the rail that day, stayed on. The third place finisher looked like he was going to go by, and Mr. Leisure kind of put his feet in the ground and said, "No, you're not," and finished second, galloped out well behind a nice horse in Tejon Pass. Buyer number of 76, very, very strong. That was September 30th. Hasn't breezed since then, but why would he? It's only been 2 weeks. Stretches out. A little concerned about the 9-hole. I don't want him to break a little slow and get packed out wide, and I want him to negotiate that first turn. But he's a good moving colt by Distorted Humor. With Tisnow on the bottom, he should handle 2 turns. I like Mr. Leisure. I think he's a decent sort of colt. Maybe not a great one, but a good one. Good enough to win this race. He's 5-2, and that's a square price.
What about a horse that Andy Harrington, our friend who works for nationalturf.com, gave some love to, and that would be the 20-1 shot, number 5, American Flyer. American Flyer has 2 good works. The debut was on the turf course, now switches over to the main track. The rider stays on board as well, even though it was a dismal performance after flashing speed for the half mile. Do you give any sort of look to a crazy long shot like American Flyer?
Well, he's only had 1 start, so I'm not going to tell you that he couldn't win or can't run. He didn't get much play in his debut. He made a little bit of a run, and then I mean, why not? Breeding's there, blinkers on. I haven't seen him train. I don't know if he can run or not, but if you want to throw him in, I'm never going to talk you off a 20-1 shot. I don't care who it is. If you want to throw him in, blinkers on. It's not like there are any world beaters in here, so sure, throw him in a ticket, protect them somewhere. But I do think Mr. Leisure, if he can negotiate a good trip into the clubhouse turn, drop over, save some ground, get a little bit a decent position.
He's the one to beat.
He strikes me, watching his race, he strikes me as a horse who really like a distance of ground. He stayed on, galloped out well. That's what I want to see.
Close out the day and close out the weekend, race number 11. Keep in mind, live racing resumes this coming Friday, 1 p.m. Pacific time, first post. And in race number 11, we're back on the turf course. 1 mile is the distance for maiden special weight, Calbred, fillies and mares. A good field of 9. Many of them exit the same race, including the morning line favorite, number 1, Warren's Paradise, who broke from the far outside post last time at Del Mar, now draws the rail. Here's your leading rider, Juan Hernandez, in the saddle. Give us a winner to close it out, Jeff.
I mean, I expect her to be lower than 5-2. There's nothing negative I can say about her. I mean, all the positives you just mentioned, outside the inside, Juan staying aboard, beat the neck last time out, similar spot. She had fractions to run out that day, but still, she ran well. She's solid. I mean, unless there's something better in here, she's probably going to win. I ended up going with a bit of a price at 8-1, number 4, Summer Lake, off the layoff for new trainer Carla Gaines. Remember when Blake Heap had her? I thought she could run a little bit. She ran really well in her debut at 30-1. I bet on her the next start. She was 5-1, but they were sprinting. Strikes me as a router, and I think that the bullet work she had on the training track puts her on edge. I'm going to use the 1 for sure. Don't get me wrong. She's solid. But Summer Lake, I think at 8-1, you have to throw her in.
4-1 to close out a great 11-race card here at Santa Anita. Jeff, you are an absolute wealth of knowledge and information. Thanks so much for your time and input today. Looking forward to seeing you over in Hawaii to watch the UCLA Bruins play in Honolulu Thanksgiving week. That should be a lot of fun. We won't talk horse racing, I promise you that.
Why are you going? Notre Dame's not there. What are you doing?
I wear Hawaiian shirts. I got to go represent the country.
That's as good a reason as any. I'll see you there. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. Next voice you hear will be track announcer Frank Miramati updating us with any late changes. Enjoy the day, everybody, and good luck.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our national anthem. Very pleasant good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Santa Anita Park. The track is fast, the turf firm, rail on the turf at 20 feet. Here are the changes. No changes in the first. In the second, number 1, Screaming Virginia, 2 pounds over. Blinker notes in race 3. Fourth race, no high five wagering. Scratch number 7, Blameless. Blinker note in the 5th, start in the middle, pick 4. The $1 pick 6 starts with race number 6, and there are no changes. The 7th is the California Flag. We have 4 overweights, number 2 plus 4, 3 plus 1, 6 plus 2, 7 plus 2. 8th race, scratch 1, Fast Investment, 6, Stylish Dress, 7, Vulin, and the program scratch of 11, Miss Commander. 1, 6, 7, and 11 are out of the 8. There is a revised morning line. In the 9th race, number 2, Golden Again, 1 pound over. We have a blinker note in race 10 and a few blinker notes in race 11. The all-turf pick 3 today will begin with the 7th race, the California Flag Handicap. Enjoy your day at the Great Race Place, where post time for the first is in 25 minutes at 12:30.